West Texas, big elk, big aoudad, long range shooting, perfect testing ground for the MCRs.
McWhorter Custom Rifles presents.
That's perfect. I think I'm ready. Welcome back, folks. This week I'm headed to West Texas to hunt with a good friend and client for trophy Texas elk. It's early October. They're going to be screaming. I got my 7 PRC ready to roll, and we might see a doodad too. You don't want to miss this.
Precision Hunting TV is brought to you by McWhorter Custom Rifles, Hornady Ammunition, Forge Carbon Stocks, Swarovski Optic, and Great Horizon Ranch.
Over the years, I've done a lot of elk hunting, but it's been in, the usual places, New Mexico, Montana, Colorado. Never really considered Texas or West Texas a place that would harbor really big elk. Boy, was I wrong. So this past year, we've gotten to know a fella by the name of Allan who lives out in West Texas. And we got to talking with him, and he wanted one of our rifles, and he actually came down and took our True Precision Long Range Hunting and Shooting School, and he really liked it. He and his wife Rita are really good folks, and we got to talking about rifles, and then that led into big elk and big audads, and next thing you know, I was headed to West Texas. Well, here we are. It's October the 1st, and we're pulling into Fort Stockton, Texas. We're gonna grab a room and spend the night here, and first thing in the morning, well before daylight, we're gonna meet Allan at his office, and we're gonna ride about 30 minutes south to the big ranch that he hunts. And from the gate, it's about 30 minutes into camp, so we got about an hour ride, but we're gonna get started first thing in the morning before daylight, chasing them big bugling elk. This place that Allan's got access to is a huge place. It's over 300,000 acres. It's got big aoudad, really big elk, some mule deer, and just a whole lot of critters on it. Just a game-rich environment. Really pretty place. It's got some topography to it, a lot of gently rolling hills, some pretty steep stuff, but not as bad as some of the areas that I have hunted aoudad in before, further south. But a great place, a lot of cover, a lot of cedars, and just it looked like a place where a big elk would be. So the first morning, it wasn't long before we had a big heavy bull in front of us. He was a really good bull, looked like he was an older bull, just wasn't quite what we were looking for on the very first morning.
Pretty tall. That's it, walking away from him.
So the first morning comes to an end. We had seen a whole lot of animals and heard a lot of animals. And we went back to grab a bite of lunch, and we were ready to head back out that afternoon right after we got through eating. So that afternoon we did a lot of riding. We saw some other elk, heard some other elk, and we decided we were going to come up to a little rise here and we stopped. We walked to the edge of the rise and we looked down about 300 yards and we saw some movement, and it was one of the biggest aoudad rams that you'll ever see. Man, that's some big old aoudads. I say, shoot them. I love me some aoudad, and I'm looking at my guide Clinton there, and I'm saying, that sure would be a really big aoudad, and I'd like to kill him. And he told me, he said, well, that's gonna cut into your elk hunting time, and he kind of talked me out of it. So we let that aoudad of a lifetime go, and we went back to elk hunting.
This segment is brought to you by Defiance Machine, makers of precision bolt actions built for performance in hunting, competition, and custom rifle builds. Each action is machined to exacting tolerances and designed for smooth reliability, guaranteed headspace, and seamless integration with your custom build.
So day two, we get up bright and early after having passed the aoudad of a lifetime, and we're back to elk hunting. I still got this aoudad in my brain, but we start hearing those bugles first thing in the morning, and I forget about that old aoudad. So we got a glimpse of a good bull, but we needed to get closer. So Russell and I load everything up, and we make a big walk. We go downwind, we get on the side of this mountain, and we try to get above this bull where we can get a view of him down in the bottom. We keep hearing him, and finally he makes an appearance at about 200 or 300 yards, and we take a real close look at him. He's a real pretty bull, big 6x6, but just not quite what we came to West Texas to shoot. That afternoon, we go out early and we cover a lot of ground. I mean, this is a tremendous ranch out there. And it's not long before we start hearing and seeing bulls again. So we decide we're gonna set up on this big vantage point and just glass. So Clinton and Russell and I all got our Swarovski glass, and we get out and we're just searching. And we finally spot a real heavy bull that was way off in the distance that we needed to go take a look at. We decided we're gonna go after this bull. We didn't really get a really good look at him, but we decided that we better go take a look at him. So we get closer in the vehicle, we get out, we make a stalk, and lo and behold, he shows up, and he's just not the bull that we thought he was. He's a really good bull, but there again, this West Texas ranch is known for really big bulls, and he's not what we're looking for. The hunt's only a 3-day hunt, so we're really got high hopes for day 3. So we get up bright and early, we get out in the dark, and we're already hearing bulls screaming, and you know, the expectations are high, and we just can't wait to put our eyes on a big bull.
Precision Hunting TV is also brought to you by McWhorter True Precision Long Range Hunting and Shooting School, Atlas Development Group, Defiance Actions, Leo Photo USA, Brooks Barrels, and Trigger Tech.
So day 3 is our last day, so we get an early start, and we get out in the dark in some areas that we expected to hear some bulls, and we're just listening. So we didn't hear any bulls to begin with. We moved a little bit. That's the way you hunt these bulls. You're just on the go, and you're trying to find them by their bugling when they're bugling in early October like this. So we finally hear a bull that we thought he sounded very mature. So we decided that the wind direction, we needed to get past him and come in from the front, and it worked. We moved down the road about a half mile, and as we get right around the curb and we're beyond them, we see that the heads of some cows topping the rise there. We know it's time to stop and try to set up. Cow's 300.
There he is.
Welcome back, folks. Today we're going to talk about the importance of a level on your long-range hunting gun. You know, a lot of guys have hunted with rifles their whole lives and they've never put a level on it. But in long-range shooting, it's very important to have a level on your long-range hunting gun.
One of the things I see here at the shooting course is that when people bring their own rifles in, they've never had a level on. And the level is probably the most cost-efficient way to bring your gun up to a level where you can manage to shoot long range.
But people don't know that the human eye can't see less than a 3% can. And say in a 6.5 Creedmoor like this one, a 3% can't, even at 300 yards, it's going to be over 3 inches.
Over 3 inches.
Over 3 inches left or right. So you got a 6-inch range there. At 1,000 yards, it's going to be nearly 16 inches. And if you can it more, a 5% cant, that almost doubles. It's 26 inches
26
at 1,000 yards. So
5% cant. So something so small is that's level. That's 5 degrees off. I mean, it's something so minute. So
it'll make a big difference in your impacts. And the fact of it is, and I've been on hunts before. I was hunting Aoudad one time, and I was laying on a hill that was slanted this way, and he was on a hill this way. And with my naked eye, I looked like I was like I was level, and I actually looked at the level and thought it was off, but I trusted it and made the shot. But the point is, had I trusted my own eyesight, I would have missed that aoudad a long ways at that kind of distance.
Absolutely.
So one of our favorite levels is this flatline off level. It's an articulating level. You leave it on the top pretty much while you're hunting. You flip it out. It sticks out far enough to where when you're in the scope, you don't have to move your head at all. Your non-shooting eye can see if you're level or not, because there's a lot of levels that go on top of the ring. We don't really like those because you have to lift your head slightly to see them, and getting back in the scope and staying level is almost impossible.
It is.
But the importance of a level in long-range shooting is real, and that's why we try to put levels on most of our guns.
It's one of the best additions you can add to your rifle.
And that's your True Precision Tip of the Week, brought to you by Allan and John and McWhorter Custom Rifles.
Precision Hunting TV is also brought to you by Armageddon Gear, Hawkins Precision, Pittman High Performance Muzzle Loading Bullets, Hell's Canyon Barrels, Boyd Harness Company, Gun Phone, H&W Farms Premium Game Feed, and Mesquite Creek Taxidermy. This segment is brought to you by Atlas Development Group, makers of the finest premium rifle cartridge cases on the market. Proudly made in the USA. Our stringent manufacturing process and raw materials yield superior results.
Bull steps out there. He stops behind this bush. I think I can make the shot. He's only 300 yards.
Down.
He's down. Dang. Good job, man. Good job, dude. Dang. Boy, well, hunt these things pretty hard. These boys have put us on a lot of elk here in 2.5 days, and been hot out here, and the moon ain't been absolutely perfect, but we saw a whole lot of elk, and this is the best bull we saw. This is a really good bull. Had to make a snap decision. We heard him bugling back up here, and he got over the hill, and Clinton figured out we got downwind here, and he just stepped right over this hill at 300 yards. Boy, that's a good bull. That's a good bull. That's a pretty bull. All right, well, we got our bull. What a nice bull. A big 6x7 West Texas bull, and just couldn't have had a better time out here. We hunted hard, covered a lot of ground for 2.5 days, and we heard several of them bugling, and Clinton and Charlie decided to go on down the road and try to get in front of them, and they made a perfect decision, and we got set up on this one, heard him bugle, and he peeked up over a hill at about 200 yards. I think he saw us about the same time we saw him, but it was too late. I was already on the Leo photo and had the 7PRC dialed up and ready to go, and made a good shot, and those Hornady 180 grain bullets did the job on this bull.
Killed a big elk, a really big West Texas elk of all places, but I just could not get this huge aoudad off my mind. So I talked to Allan a little bit. We got a little time left, so that afternoon we're going back out after an aoudad. So we go back to where we had seen the big aoudad the day before, and of course he's nowhere to be seen. But we do start seeing some sheep, and we find a really good aoudad that we decide we're going to make a stalk on.
Man, what a day. What a day. We just killed a huge West Texas elk this morning, and we just smoked a huge, huge chaps, big mass West Texas aoudad at 350 yards. All right, so here we are. We're kind of a bonus hunt. We came out here to hunt a big old elk, and we killed one of those this morning. This is the third day we've been out here. And Allan, I'm supposed to come back in February and try to Aoudad hunt, and he asked me if I wanted to go out this afternoon and try to find a big sheep. I didn't know we were gonna find one this big, but so I said absolutely, and it didn't take us long to find this sheep here, and we slipped up on him at about 353 yards, and those Hornady ELDMs in this 7 PRC did the job. I mean, just this sheep is 12 years old, you said? 12-year-old sheep, and mass more than you'll know. If you're not sitting here holding him, you can't tell. This is a giant, massive sheep. Just experience, I've had a whole bunch of experiences in my lifetime, and I think this is as good as anything I've ever done. This is great.